Hello fellow office workers, this is your boss JJ from 9 to 5 Studios. Today's meeting is about the game The Universim. For those of you not reading my memos, The Universim is a civilization building game with you the office worker becoming a god and nurturing a civilization of nuggets on a planet from the Stone Age to beyond the Space Age. The game is currently in pre-alpha mode right now, with new features rolling out about once a month. Now, I know what you're thinking, this is a clear violation of our no pre-ordering company policy that got put into place after EA's SimCity debacle. But I'm the pretend manager of a tiny YouTube channel, so I can do what I want. Alright, let's jump into this game here. The version is 0.05, I believe. Yep, right up there. And it's still in pre-alpha, so everything you see could change at some point or another. It's still a game in development. But I thought it'd be a good idea to show what the team over at Crytivo has been up to. So the first thing that we're doing here is setting up, taking a look at the planet actually, trying to see where we want to set up civilization. Now each of these planets are randomly generated. And you can see here at the bottom, there's the oxygen level, oil, greenery. And each planet that gets started is a little bit different. And you can see different biomes, different terrain, and hopefully we can see some wildlife. When you zoom out all the way, you can kind of get a scale of this game and what the developers are trying to get going. So let's go ahead and start our civilization. Let's go ahead and start here. Alright, we are off. The epicenter is kind of the center point of any city, and buildings will start to appear around it as the city grows. There's of course other buildings that you can build to help your civilization along. For now, let's assign our workers up here. We'll start to gather food and wood, and let's have them not go super fast, not too super slow. Let's go hair. Let's go fast speed. And then we'll go ahead and pick our research here. This is the research tree right now. The pre-alpha only allows to the Stone Age currently. And you can see some of these research nodes are definitely important. Stockpiling, the wheel, husbandry. We'll go ahead and start with stockpiling. But some of these are also kind of fun. Awareness, name yourself, since you are the god. Name the planets, name the cities here. But up here, fire, probably important. Spirituality, unlocking cemetery. Yeah, there may be some deaths at some point due to some poor decisions. But let's go ahead and get started on stockpiling. And then queue up some agriculture. And then these little guys are just buffs for the primary nodes here. But we'll get the farms going, and then some awareness, because I think the people need to know my name. There's a bunch of random encounters, a bunch of things that the game will hopefully throw at you at some point as the game gets further developed. You can see a woolly mammoth here. Now this 0.05 just came out about a week ago, so I'll be watching the behaviors of the animals a little bit closer as they have been worked on just a little bit in the last patch. And you can kind of see some statistics on the planet here. It does keep track of how many mammoths, black bears, rabbits, hawks, and other animal populations as well. We don't have any resources, stats, or nuggets yet. This is a new panel that just came out with the latest patch. Alright, let's go back to our settlement here. I'm gonna build our first building. The panel here kind of is reminiscent of SimCity. Hopefully it won't go the path of SimCity. I'm gonna build a constructor's hut here. It'll help build future buildings and maintain buildings that I already have. Although it is a little early for that. Now, this game's scope is from the Stone Age to the Space Age. When you zoom out, you can just see this planet, but at some point, when you get to a high enough technology, you will be able to go and explore other planets. And tech goes from adapting to this planet to adapting to other planets that may be out there, because not all the other planets will have oxygen, water, food sources. So you kind of have to adapt your technology to any planets that are out there. And supposedly there'll be resources that are very valuable on those planets as well. But you can definitely, this game you can set up colonies and things like, or theoretically you'll be able to at some point set up colonies on other worlds. And that's what's really intriguing about this game, is that you can go from this one planet, Stone Age to Space Age, and then find other planets and spread out even further and encounter new challenges. It's that exploring principle of the game that I feel like it's so fleeting in other games, but it's so enjoyable to start off and explore. We've researched stockpiling, so we can now build a warehouse once we get some stone. Population's gone up a little bit, so let's go ahead and add some more workers here. And you can see the little guys, the little nuggets moving around. And there's actually a lot of stats for each of these little nuggets, as the game calls them. Man, that looks like hard work. And as you get higher technology, these things will go up as well. The might, intellect, carry. And you can specialize as you get more techs. You can see here at the bottom, these are the resources that our civilization currently has. And even the planet itself has some extra map modes. Here is the wind pattern map mode. And I believe storms will follow these sorts of wind patterns. And you can also see the temperature of the planet as well. Up here you can see the weather, Celsius. As an American, I don't understand that. And you can kind of see the seasons as they go by. I think this is, yeah, current year, 0. Excellent. Something about research is I'm not sure how the short nodes, if they take less time than the large nodes. I'll have to look that up later. But there isn't any specification as to how much sort of research points are required, or how to modify those research points. I do know that the nuggets have an intellect rating, so I wonder if that contributes a little bit. But since we're not very, well, coming soon, so these might just be on a take over time, and in the future I'm sure they'll have ways to modify that. One of the other things that they've introduced in this part of the patch is they're starting to institute some god power, so I can influence rocks right now and kind of pull it out of the ground here, and then I can drop it straight down, and it would have exploded if I was close enough, I'm sure. Or wiggle this around, go up here and toss it into orbit, I think. We'll see if that comes back. So they are working on some of the more god powers as well, but for right now I think they're working on mostly making sure that the terrain works out just fine. Get back to work. What are we just hanging out here? We've got a civilization to build. Let's go. You can see that they have to get their hunger back. This is their health, and I think this is their energy. So as they complete tasks, it takes down energy, they have to rest. As time goes on, they'll need food. And you can see here, now that the population has gotten to a certain point, a stone hut was put up just on their actions and through no action of my own. Looks like a little rabbit. Hey. There's a humpback whale, I think. Yeah, just some of the elements that are going into this game. I'm really excited to see how it develops. And I'm really excited to have my hands on the pre-alpha now and seeing just how far along they've come and just kind of the level of detail that they've put into these planets. They added, also in the patch, the latest version, they've added a mating panel. I'm just going to set it to auto. I'm not sure if there is anything that I can do with it. Alright, it looks like I have agriculture. So I still need more resources before I can start building stuff. You can kind of see in the research panel some of the things that they want to introduce. Animal attacks, so these lamps might prevent those attacks. Let's see. Cattle ranches. There's some things to help with disease. There's others that can help with the cold and weather events. And every time, oh my, we should, we'll go elsewhere. Every time you start up a game, the developers want to introduce a randomized planet with different challenges. And that's one of my concerns with games like this, is that each time you play, there's a new world to explore, but you kind of do the same things every time. So I'd kind of want to see how much the strategy varies every time I play this game. Whether I go through this research panel whether I do my research differently because of the environmental concerns, maybe the planet's just a little bit different and I have to go for adaptation more. I need to go for expansion more. I need to get fire first, or I need to get farms first. It'll be interesting to see if they can do that. And it's too early to say how different it's going to be once you proceed past the era, because this is a lot of technology and this is just for the Stone Age stuff. It'll be interesting to see what happens when you get into that next era. How does your civilization change and how does the planet change? I know that they looked into multiplayer, and I'm not sure if it's being developed or not, but that's something that I would love for this game, to know that there's another planet out there with some of the other managers for 9 to 5 Studios that I could colonize next to them or send missiles over to their planets, things like that. I don't think there's a god panel yet, otherwise I would be telling the Nuggets who to worship. Me. Sorry. Let's see here. I'm starting to realize that I am a little short on stone, so I think what I'm going to do is use some of my god powers. And hopefully without crushing anyone. Oops. Let's see if I can move these stones to make it easier. Oh. I'm really trying hard not to kill my... Let's see if we can get closer to the ground here. Closer, closer. Let's just... Doop. Hey! Okay. Now let's see if they work on some of these stones. Maybe I can speed up how fast my civilization grows. Although, maybe they're floating. There we go. Remember me! Looks like a research fire. I don't know if they can... We'll see if these are interactable, but I feel like that's the ultimate goal, is that the god can make it easier or harder for your nuggets to grow into a civilization. I don't think that rock... That's going to be amazing to them. Floating rocks. We're in the Stone Age and we've already invented anti-gravity. I think we've got enough resources here. We'll set up a farm. Yeah. Let's go ahead and place it out here. New building's done. And some of these buttons I still don't know what they do. All right. Working on a stone hut. Then we can work on a farm. Now our civilization's starting to get going. Research primitive lamps. Soon they'll be able to talk to me. It'll be great. I'm sure they won't complain at all. And you can see people... Oh, status. That's... Hey, we're having a little nugget meeting. You can see people eating, resting, doing other things. Other things. Do. Now we've got some data points. You can see how the animal population has changed over time. 11 humpback whales, 8 mammoths. I'm curious to see if those go up. Black bear. These reproduction rates are a little low. I'll have to generate another planet and see if those numbers change over time too. Just have a planet infested with wolves that are hungry for our little nuggets. Now, as far as I know, there aren't any real challenges to my civilization. I think any sort of animal attacks, looking at you, I don't think any sort of animal attacks or natural disasters can occur yet. I think they're still just building the very basic mechanics of this game, but it'll be interesting to start facing challenges, both hopefully to avoid natural disasters or having the right technologies researched in time, or what happens if a natural disaster does get through or an animal attack does get through, and how well a person is able to adapt and survive to that. Well, alright, our civilization is starting to grow, starting to make its mark on the world. There aren't a whole lot more features currently. This is still in pre-alpha mode, but in the future, I'm sure I'll put out some more videos to kind of document its progress and kind of show you some of the new things on this game that I'm really excited about. There'll be details in the description on providing links to the game and sort of a news forum as to how they are developing the game. You can get more details of the game on that site. I hope you enjoyed this meeting. This is your boss, JJ, from 9 to 5 Studios, signing out.